7 powerful flirting tricks older men use to attract younger women, backed by psychology tips. Silence is a source of great strength. Lao Tzu. Ever watch a man in his 40s, 50s, or 60s step into a room and the mood tilts without a single word? He isn't peacocking, he isn't chasing laughs, yet younger women clock him immediately. It's not just money, status, or bone structure. It's deeper, his center of gravity. He flirts without the performance. No cheesy lines, no nervous filler, just calibrated presence. The kind that says, "I'm in no hurry," because he's learned that time can be an ally instead of a deadline. Meanwhile, a lot of younger guys mistake noise for magnetism. They overshare, overjoke, overcompliment, and accidentally audition for approval. The second that vibe leaks out, attraction stalls. Desire doesn't bloom because a man is trying to earn it. It grows when a man doesn't need to. This is where seasoned men flip the script. They don't compete for the spotlight. They become the reference point. They let the pause do the flirting. They know that holding eye contact, calm, steady, unflinching, communicates more than a paragraph of rehearsed charm ever could. It's not playing hard to get. It's being hard to rattle. And yes, there's real psychology under the hood. Women often attune to signals of grounded confidence and emotional regulation, markers of safety, status, and self-command shaped by evolved preferences and refined by life experience. When a man broadcasts those signals with subtlety, curiosity kicks in. She leans forward. He doesn't chase. He invites investment. Think of the contrast like this. A young man's vibe can be a laser show, loud, bright, gone in a blink. A mature man is a lighthouse, steady, understated, impossible to ignore. One dazzles for seconds. The other anchors the whole coastline. If you don't learn this shift, you risk becoming background noise, the try-hard she forgets by dessert. But get it right, and you become the quiet question she keeps turning over in her mind on the ride home. What follows are 7 subtle, psychology-backed ways older men flirt that don't just spark attraction, they build desire. They're not gimmicks. They're micro-behaviors rooted in composure, boundaries, and masculine warmth. Master them, and you'll stop chasing moments and start creating gravity. Ready to see what makes her lean in instead of pull away? Flirting Trick 1. The power of presence. Let's get this straight. The first and most underrated flirting trick older men use isn't about spitting out smooth lines or dropping their credit card on the table. It's about how they show up. Presence. Sounds simple, but it's a lost art these days. Most men can't even sit across from a woman without twitching like a squirrel on espresso, sneaking a look at their phone every 10 seconds, or filling the air with anxious chatter because silence feels unbearable. Don't do that. Be still. Be grounded. That's the secret. An older man knows that presence is the purest form of attention, and attention is the rarest gift you can give. When he speaks, he's not rushing like he's late for a meeting. When she talks, he's not staring at her lips like a starving man at a buffet. He actually listens. That calm energy whispers to her without words. I don't need to be here. I choose to be here. That's not arrogance. That's magnetic confidence. And yes, psychology tips confirm this. Research shows women don't respond to the flood of attention. They respond to the quality of it. A man who listens without flinching, who holds eye contact without looking like he's about to burst into flames, creates a paradox. He makes her feel safe and thrilled at the same time. That's powerful. Don't mistake calm for boring. Don't confuse excitement with attraction. Younger guys often think the louder they are, the more impressive they become, but women see right through that noise. Real attraction is restraint under control, like holding a fire in your chest without letting it burn the house down. Here's the kicker. You can't fake presence. You can buy fancy clothes, drive a shiny car, and memorize clever one-liners you found in a dating tips article. But if your energy is jittery, she'll spot it before you finish your sentence. Presence is primal. She feels it in her body before her brain even catches up. If you're grounded, anchored like a tree that's been through storms, you don't have to prove a thing. You just are. That's why an older man can sit quietly in a room, say almost nothing, and still be the most magnetic person there. That's not mystery, it's mastery. So here's your love advice wrapped in steel. Presence is not passive. Don't think it's about shutting up. It's about being anchored in yourself so completely that your silence speaks louder than the guy screaming for attention across the bar. In a world full of men competing like peacocks, the one who doesn't need to flap his feathers wins. Don't chase approval. Don't fidget. Don't let your mind scatter like a deck of cards in the wind. Be here, be now, be unshakable. And remember, women notice the difference. The man who leans in too hard feels needy. The man who plays it too cool feels detached. But the man who is fully present strikes the balance, warm but not desperate, attentive but not suffocating. That's the sweet spot. That's the energy that makes her curious, that makes her lean forward, that makes her wonder what's behind those calm eyes. And here's a final truth. Presence costs nothing, but it's priceless. Younger men will spend fortunes trying to impress, while older men simply let the room come to them. So let this sink in. Presence is your greatest weapon, your sharpest edge, your invisible armor. In love, in dating, in life, it all begins here. Hold yourself like a man who has walked through fire and come out smiling. That's unforgettable. That's irresistible. That's the psychology of attraction in action. Flirting trick 2. The subtleties of contrast. Here's a truth most younger men never learn. Attraction thrives on contrast. Why? Because sameness is boring. Predictability is dull. The mind and the heart light up when something feels both familiar and mysterious at the same time. Younger guys? They often overdo it. They throw endless compliments, over-explain every story, or try to prove how interesting they are. It feels needy, it feels like noise, and women notice. But an older man, one who understands love psychology, plays a different game. He knows that less is often more. The power of restraint. An older man teases with restraint. He gives just enough warmth to spark curiosity, then pulls back into composure. He doesn't flood her with validation like a fire hose. He offers it like a rare vintage wine, in small, memorable sips. This isn't manipulation. Don't get it twisted. It's rhythm. It's timing. Think of music. A song doesn't hook you because it blares non-stop noise. It hooks you because of the pauses, the beats, the spaces in between. The silence makes the sound sweeter. That's exactly how contrast works in flirting. The psychology behind the trick. Psychologists call this the intermittent reinforcement effect. In plain English, when attention is given unpredictably, it becomes addictive. Casinos are built on this principle. Slot machines don't reward every time. They reward sometimes. That's why people get hooked. And relationships? They work the same way. A woman doesn't crave a man who hands her validation on a silver platter every second. She craves the man who makes her earn it, who rewards her with a sly grin, a sharp remark, or that calm, piercing eye contact that makes her heartbeat skip. This is how older men attract women without breaking a sweat. It's not about being the loudest. It's about being the most deliberate, the moment that sticks. Picture this. She tosses a playful comment your way, expecting you to jump in like every other guy, eager and overeager. Instead, you pause. You let a slow grin spread across your face. Then you drop a line that both acknowledges her and challenges her. That moment lodges in her memory. Why? Because it's unpredictable. It's not desperate. It's deliberate. That's contrast. That's charisma, the courage to risk silence. Here's the hidden layer where most younger men fall apart. The tease only works if you're comfortable with her not liking you. Read that again. You must be willing to let the silence hang. You must risk that she doesn't get it. Younger men can't handle this. They're terrified of rejection. So they overcompensate with constant approval. They bend, they chase, they submit. But the older man knows better. He understands that a woman's attraction isn't lost when you don't bend, it's ignited. The very act of holding your ground, of not rushing to fill every silence with praise, makes you magnetic. That risk, that bold willingness to stand still while others scramble, that's what makes the tease intoxicating. Why contrast wins? Every time. The subtle play of warmth and distance, of giving and withholding, creates emotional electricity. It makes her curious. It makes her lean in. And that's the real secret. Contrast gives her a role to play. If you're always chasing, she can only retreat. But when you step back with confidence, you invite her forward. That balance, that's where attraction grows. That's where relationship goals begin. So don't flood her with nonstop praise. Be the man who knows how to pause. Be the man who knows when to smile, when to tease, and when to simply hold eye contact without saying a word. Because in those quiet beats, the music of attraction plays the loudest. Gentlemen, remember this. Don't try to impress with volume. Impress with rhythm. Don't fear silence. Use it. Don't hand her your attention on demand. Make it count. That is the subtle art of contrast. That is how older men attract women, master love psychology, and build lasting relationship goals without trying too hard. And once you learn this rhythm, every interaction becomes music. She can't stop replaying in her mind. Flirting trick 3. The power of slowed down presence. Make no mistake, this is not just a trick, it is a weapon of influence forged in the fire of psychology and sharpened by experience. A younger man rushes, he scrambles, he fidgets, he checks his phone, he fills silence with meaningless chatter because he fears the stillness. But an older man, a modern Stoic who carries the wisdom of an old Stoic, understands that silence is not empty. Silence is power. Silence is the battlefield where she follows your tempo without even realizing it. He who is brave is free, said Seneca. And bravery in flirting means daring to slow down, daring to control time itself, daring to let her come to you. You must picture yourself not as a leaf in the wind, but as the mountain unmoved by storms, because women instinctively read speed as insecurity and calm rhythm as confidence, and psychology proves it. Measured pauses and deliberate speech signal authority. Just as a seasoned CEO commands the room while the nervous intern babbles and fades. Don't rush, don't chase, don't try to match her energy like every other younger man. Instead, lean back, lock eyes, and with calm, deliberate words, draw her into your frame. That is not just flirting, that is leadership. That is Stoicism applied to modern life, where the man who slows down wins because he refuses to be pulled into the frantic rhythm of others. Let her quick excitement run into your calm control. Let her fast words crash against your deliberate tone, and watch as she slows to mirror you, because human psychology is built on mirroring, and when she mirrors you, you have already won. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your slowed presence is proof that you have power over yourself, and that mastery is magnetic. In today's world, where men are constantly glued to their phones, always in a rush, always chasing, always reacting, the man who can slow down stands out like a king among pawns. You must embrace this modern Stoic way, the Stoicism of control, the old Stoic wisdom reborn in you, because it is not about saying more, it is about making every word carry weight, every pause command respect, every glance dictate desire. Don't fill silence with weakness. Let silence amplify your strength. Don't show desperation. Show dominance of self. Don't prove yourself. Let her climb the mountain to meet you. That is how older men become irresistible. Not by noise, not by speed, but by bending time itself around their presence. So take this command seriously. Slow down, breathe, own the silence, own the room, own the moment. Victory in attraction belongs to the man who carries time like a weapon, who lives like a modern Stoic in a restless world, who turns stillness into fire and silence into magnetism. That man is unforgettable. That man is you. If you found this insight valuable, make sure to like this video, share it with a friend who could benefit, and hit subscribe for more psychology-backed tips on attraction and confidence. To lock this lesson into your mindset, drop this in the comments. I am the mountain, calm and unshakable. Flirting trick 4. The art of withholding validation. Here's the truth. Younger men tend to flood women with attention like a busted fire hydrant. Too many compliments, too much laughter, too much eager approval. At first, it feels flattering, but quickly it turns predictable, ordinary, even cheap. Real attraction isn't born from desperate chasing. It's built from tension. The kind of delicious tension that happens when you, as the older and wiser man, know the power of holding back. This isn't cruelty, it's discipline. Imagine this. She teases you, waiting for the same tired reaction every other guy gives. Big laugh, instant praise, another obvious compliment. Instead, you smirk, tilt your head slightly, and let silence linger like you're debating whether her jab even deserved acknowledgement. And when you finally respond, it's short, dry, a little challenging. That's the best you've got? That moment, the mystery, the unpredictability, is when she feels the spark. Not because you bent over backward to validate her, but because you didn't hand over your attention so cheaply. Why does this work? Psychology Tips 101, Scarcity. Human beings crave what they can't easily predict or fully possess. Constant validation is like a vending machine. You push a button, you get the candy. Predictable, unexciting. But when your validation comes in rare, carefully chosen doses, it becomes valuable. She leans in more. She starts to chase, to earn that subtle nod of recognition you grant sparingly. This flips the dynamic completely. She's now the one working for your approval, not the other way around. That's powerful love advice, and one of the most effective dating tips older men use, because it creates mystery, depth, and a magnetic pull she can't ignore. Now here's the deeper layer. This isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about embodying true self-respect. A man with standards doesn't give out his energy to every woman who smiles at him. He knows his attention is rare, valuable, and worth earning. That's exactly what women feel when you withhold validation. Not arrogance, not coldness, but an unshakable selectiveness. Don't be the guy serving dollar menu fast food, easy and available to anyone. Be the man who's like a vintage wine, rare, mysterious, and savored only by those who are lucky enough to taste it. That's the difference between looking like every other man scrambling for her approval and standing out as the confident older man she can't quite figure out. And here's the final note. You must understand that withholding validation doesn't mean being cruel or indifferent. It means showing that your attention has value, that your focus isn't up for grabs, that she must earn it. That tension is irresistible, and it's one of the strongest psychology tips you'll ever apply in love, attraction, and dating. Flirting Trick 5. The power of controlled silence. Most men hate silence. They treat it like an awkward guest at the party. Unwelcome, uncomfortable, unbearable. So what do? They rush. They spit out nervous jokes. They babble explanations. They fill the air with empty noise, terrified that if they stop talking for even 3 seconds, she'll drift away. But here's the twist most men miss. Younger women don't find the chatter magnetic. They find it exhausting. What really draws them in is an older man's ability to sit in silence without flinching. That, gentlemen, is the quiet superpower. Silence isn't weakness, it's command. Don't mistake silence for passivity. When you own it, silence becomes dominance. Not the loud, brash dominance of boys trying to prove themselves, but the steady authority of a man who doesn't need to scramble. Picture it. You're sitting across from her at a cafe. She tosses out a playful question. Maybe it's cheeky, maybe even a little provocative. Instead of lunging into an answer, you pause. You don't break eye contact. You let the moment stretch just slightly longer than she expects. Now, watch carefully. That pause unsettles her, but it also intrigues her. She leans in, mentally, emotionally, even physically. Because in that pause, she realizes you're not performing, you're not desperate for approval, you're comfortable in your own skin. That is power. The psychology behind the pause. Psychologists have a term for this: non-reactivity. It's one of the strongest signals of confidence and status. Why? Because when you're unbothered by silence, you prove you're not chasing. You're not begging for validation. You're not dancing like a trained monkey to earn her affection. Think about it. Most men younger women meet are hyperactive. They crack jokes non-stop. They pitch their resume. They're basically salesmen in sneakers, trying to sell themselves as the perfect boyfriend package. But the man who can sit calmly in silence? He's rare. He's different. He feels like a rock in the middle of a storm, steady, grounded, immovable. And that's irresistible. Silence as a language. Here's the secret. Controlled silence isn't empty. It speaks louder than words. It whispers, "I'm not in a rush. I don't need to prove myself. If you want more, you'll lean closer." This is love psychology at work. That gravitational pull draws her in without you forcing anything. She starts filling the gaps, talking more, sharing more, revealing more, and suddenly she's chasing the connection that you didn't push. That's when silence transforms from enemy to ally. Don't fear the gap. Use it. Be bold enough to let silence breathe. Be confident enough to let her feel your presence instead of drowning it in chatter. Controlled silence does 3 things. It elevates you. You appear self-assured, calm, and collected. It tests her. She reveals her comfort level with intimacy and tension. It magnetizes her. You become the man who doesn't just talk, but commands the room without words. Remember, your goal isn't to impress with constant fireworks. Your goal is to attract women through contrast. Calm against chaos, strength against insecurity, silence against noise. That's how you set relationship goals that younger men can't even touch. The bottom line: don't rush to fill every gap. Don't fear the pause. Don't mistake silence for weakness. Be the man who uses controlled silence like a weapon. Be the man who understands that how you hold space says more than any clever punchline. That is the art of attraction. That is love psychology in action. That is how older men quietly, powerfully, irresistibly attract women. And if you agree that true power is found in silence, drop this in the comments right now. My silence speaks louder than words. Hit that like button, subscribe for more psychology-backed insights, and remember, the man who owns silence owns the room. Flirting Trick 6. The magnetic force of playful unpredictability. Let me tell you the truth with no sugarcoating. Routine kills attraction, predictability kills desire, and safety without excitement kills chemistry. Younger women don't want a script, they want a spark. They want that moment where they can't quite guess what you'll do next. And that's where older men who understand psychology stand apart. Don't act like a robot. Don't give her the same compliment she's heard 100 times, and don't defend yourself like every other guy. Break the pattern, twist the expectation, flip the script. Imagine this. She waits for the obvious line, and instead you pause, look her in the eye, and say with calm control, "That's dangerous." You leave it hanging in the air. You don't explain, you don't rush, you let silence become your ally. Or maybe she teases you, waiting for you to justify yourself, but instead you laugh, lean back, and say with relaxed certainty, "You'll have to do better than that." That is not immaturity. That is magnetic unpredictability. It's psychology in motion. It's dopamine at work. It's the same brain circuit that lights up when humans anticipate a reward. That is why unpredictability keeps her engaged, keeps her alert, keeps her invested in you. She can't scroll past you like another predictable man in her inbox. You've become the living plot twist. But here's the law. Unpredictability without confidence is chaos. Unpredictability with grounded calmness is intrigue. One feels like a boy, the other feels like a man. One makes her roll her eyes, the other makes her lean in closer. As Marcus Aurelius, the old Stoic emperor, said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The modern Stoic adapts this. The magnetism of your presence depends upon the quality of your unpredictability. Don't try to be random out of insecurity. Don't force it like a bad joke. Master it like an art form. Remember what Bruce Lee said. Be water, my friend. Flow, adapt, surprise, but always remain centered. In modern life, where every notification, every app, and every man is trying to win her attention with the same tired routine, you must become the exception. You must become the man who embodies Stoicism in action, the calm storm, the modern Stoic who surprises without losing control. Don't underestimate this. Don't dismiss it. Don't play small. This is the edge older men hold over younger men. Life has taught you patience. Experience has taught you timing, and Stoicism has taught you self-mastery. Use it. You're not just another line in her story. You are the twist that makes her heart skip. Victory comes from contrast. Safety with surprise. Confidence with unpredictability. Calmness with edge. The old Stoic understood this in the arenas of power, and the modern Stoic must understand it in the arena of attraction. Younger women are not looking for chaos. They are looking for a man who can balance gravity with playfulness, depth with lightness, wisdom with wit. That's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. So don't be predictable. Don't repeat the script. Don't let routine dull your fire. Be bold. Be decisive. Be unpredictable with mastery. And watch how she leans in, fascinated, uncertain, and captivated. This is not theory. This is psychology. This is life. This is the weapon older men carry when they embrace unpredictability with strength. Use it wisely. Use it powerfully. Use it now. Flirting Trick 7. The Stoic depth that makes you unforgettable. Is not a magic line or a flashy move. It's the quiet gravity that makes her stop scrolling, stop guessing, and start wondering who you are. Attraction may spark with looks, banter, or energy. But depth is what keeps her thinking about you on the drive home, and that is your edge as an older man. You've lived, you've lost, you've learned, and you've learned to be still. Don't compete with jittery thumbs and rapid-fire memes. Be the calm current underneath the noise. You must show her a presence that doesn't chase, doesn't flinch, and doesn't audition for approval. Here's where smart men turn broad psychology tips, love advice, dating tips into something real. Because when she's laughing and tossing playful jabs, you let the moment breathe. You hold eye contact without hunger. You soften your voice, and you ask one clean question that tilts the room. What do you really want out of this season of your life? Or, when did you last feel completely free? Then you stop. Don't rush to fill the silence. Don't lecture. Don't explain. Let your stillness carry the weight of the question, because the pause proves you're not performing, you're perceiving. That is the difference. Younger women are surrounded by men who text fast, crack jokes, and book the rooftop bar, but very few who can make them feel seen on the level that matters. Don't mistake entertainment for connection. Be the man who blends light play with clean, focused attention. You must listen like a craftsman, mirror a key phrase she uses, ask one follow-up that gently drills beneath the first answer, summarize what you heard in 10 words or less, then go back to the fun. This rhythm of spark and stillness creates contrast, and contrast creates memory. When she realizes she isn't being herded into your plan, but invited into your presence, her nervous system relaxes, and paradoxically, her curiosity spikes. That is psychology in motion. Safety first, intensity next. It's not mystery for mystery's sake, it's depth without pressure. Want more practical psychology tips, love advice, dating tips that actually land? Start with your frame. Don't chase, set the pace. Be genuinely busy with a purpose larger than dating. You must show priorities without preaching them. Finish the call you were on, close your notebook, then give her your full attention. Signal standards calmly. If she cancels twice, don't get dramatic. Simply offer a later date on your schedule. Demonstrate boundaries with kindness. I like how playful this is. Let's keep it respectful. And mean it. Slow your cadence by 5%. Walk a bit slower. Pause before you answer. Let silence do half the flirting. Breathe down into your belly, not your chest, because calm breath equals calm presence. When you speak, use short, grounded sentences. No filler, no spiral. That is how your body says what your mouth doesn't need to. Depth is not a sermon. It's a slight turn of the dial, a well-placed question, a micro smile, a small nod, a patient pause. Don't interrogate, invite. Be interested, not intense. You must remember that secure energy is the rarest cologne. When she tests the edge, teasing a bit harder, running late, or tossing a spicy comment, smile with your eyes, hold the line, and keep your warmth. That is strength without show. Younger men often push for speed because speed hides uncertainty. You bring pace, and pace reveals confidence. She senses the difference instantly. Here's the brutal, undeniable psychology. Women don't crave endless entertainment. They crave emotional intensity anchored in safety. The trick is contrast, the playful note followed by a resonant chord. Don't over-explain your past. Be selective. One story with a lesson beats 5 stories with a plea. You must share a scar, not a wound, something you've already healed that shaped your code. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials, Seneca said. That is your advantage. Your trials made you textured. Use them, not as a monologue, but as a moment of truth that shows why you move the way you do. When she sees that your silence isn't emptiness but choice, your restraint isn't fear but discipline, your questions aren't tactics but care, she feels the click. Mystery with meaning. Keep your flirting architecture simple. Tease lightly, notice precisely, ask sparingly, pause intentionally, return to play. Don't crowd, don't correct, don't try to win. Be the man who can laugh and then land. You must be able to pivot from "you're trouble, aren't you?" to "what would make this week a win for you?" without losing your warmth. That is what makes her lean in, because anyone can distract her, very few can deepen her. And if you want one more pass at applied psychology tips, love advice, dating tips, here it is. Calibrate. Notice her breath, her shoulders, her pace. If she opens, go a layer deeper. If she tightens, lighten up and move. Never pry, always invite. End the night a beat early, not a beat late. Leave her with a question that hums softly in her chest. Then go live your life. Don't overthink this. Be the mountain, not the megaphone. You must let your lived depth do the talking. In a world that screams, your quiet courage will echo. And in the end, it won't be the line you used or the place you took her that she remembers. It will be that calm, grounded presence that made her feel seen, safe, and a little more alive. That is what she won't be able to forget. All right, my friend, let's wrap this up. The truth is, love isn't something you can force, not on yourself, and definitely not on someone else. If a woman has to push herself to love you, sooner or later that mask will crack. Real attraction and real connection can't survive on pretense. So here's my advice to you. Don't waste your energy chasing what feels fake. Instead, put that same energy into becoming the kind of man who is grounded, confident, and real. Because when you carry yourself with calm strength and self-respect, the right woman won't need to force anything. She'll want to love you. If this clicked for you, hit that subscribe button for more straight talk like this. And tell me in the comments, which of these signs hit you the hardest today? Until next time, stay sharp, stay grounded, and most of all, stay true to yourself.